Hello, everyone. I'm speaking to you from Menang Budja in Albany, and I bring you spiritual synergies from our Noongar nation. We want to share with you a story about the old science and new science working in collaboration in creating true connectivity in caring for country. In offering this project, our vision is to involve and unite communities from a broad background of disciplines to create an icon that promotes consciousness about caring for country. We want people to have the experience of reconnecting to country with a deep time awareness of our role as custodians in bringing species and ecosystems back into balance. This project can and has brought communities together. It tells about ecological knowledge and of how we as multicultural people care for country. So within these sculptures, there are many stories which will be retold that brings everybody into the spirituality of treading the footprints of our ancient people. The Genestream Songline Sculpture Initiative is a nationwide, multidisciplinary and multicultural project. A big driver is not just the environment and the community, but it's our future too. All our planet's natural environments are special. The environment that you personally engage in protecting is special. It is unique, flora and fauna. Its geology is sublime. The culture is deep. We believe that more people should know about your region, what makes it special, and what are the threats facing it now, and how can they get involved in the conservation effort to help your place. We can tell you that the Genestream modelling, which has the potential to extend into a Genestream sculpture, is here to help you because by seeing a visualisation of the health of natural systems, people can see what actions need to be taken. Our hope for this presentation is that by the end of this conference, you will be one of the people who will have contacted us to express your interest in discussing the possibility of this project commencing in your region. This could lead to an augmented reality Genestream sculpture project getting started first, which can be placed anywhere in the bush without the cost of physical construction. At a later stage, a physical Genestream sculpture could be established in your local park. In my time, I've witnessed much of the land clearing of the southwest. However, in recent times, I've also witnessed what it takes to heal the land. The ingredients to healing the land are conservation, science, and harmonious multicultural identities working together. And I envisage a public art program that would speak to the combination of conservation, science, and multicultural approach. Australia is a multicultural country. I am a multicultural person. When I was young, I had to hide from people who were trying to take me away from my parents because I had a white father and an Aboriginal mother. But that's not the case today. Today, we value our multicultural identity because it gives us strength. In 2017, I asked visiting artist Ben Beaton, who'd come to work with Gondwanderly, if he could see a way that we could connect these contributing elements into the foundation for a public arts program.
Auntie Carol's request in relation to developing the design foundations for a public art program that would share information on local conservation efforts, scientific research and culture was unique. Since 2006, I'd undertaken over 35 artist residency projects on the ecology, geology and deep time history of Australia's natural systems and shared what I learned on my website, sciart.com.au. In 2016, I commenced a project called Following the Lewin Current. I intended to follow the current from the Kimberley to Tasmania, creating one large journal drawing. I began the project at Winjana Gorge, and over the following 2 years, I followed the Lewin Current through a sequence of artist residency projects. When I reached Albany with the intention of learning from Gondwanling about their approach to conservation, the drawing that I had started in the Kimberley had grown to over 30 metres in length. It was the experiences that I had with the people that I met through Gondwanling which transpired to change the direction of my life. In the Stirling Ranges, I was introduced to Banksia montana, of which I was told there were less than 30 individuals remaining. When I travelled out to Wave Rock with Auntie Carol, we passed through the wheat belt, where I was confronted by one of the worst examples of ecological destruction that I had ever experienced. You can see it for yourself in the satellite image. Everything in yellow is cleared land. If you want to learn more about how this happened, watch the documentary A Million Acres a Year. At Wave Rock, I decided that there would be no more artist residency projects until I'd partnered with the university to develop the Tree of Life teaching tools that I'd designed over many years, which I called Genestreams. I made this decision because I felt that it was the most effective way that I could participate in furthering conservation. I'd been modelling data on the Tree of Life in the context of deep time and preferred futures since the mid-1990s. How to visualise the connectivity of all life and then utilise this visualisation for conservation purposes was the question that had inspired the creation of many of my artworks and designs. I began the development of the Genestreams teaching tools at the Australian National University in 2019 as a proof of concept for a Genestreams website to broaden people's awareness of conservation through interactive experiences within the Tree of Life. My team developed 4 virtual reality Genestreams teaching modules, which presented content supplied by ANU professors from a variety of schools. The project enjoyed considerable support at ANU until the impact of COVID landed, which resulted in the closure of hundreds of innovative projects, including my own. Throughout this time, I'd been sending Arnie Carroll and Gondwana Link ideas for Arnie Carroll's envisaged sculpture that could somehow share information on conservation, science, and culture. But it wasn't until I used as the foundations for the sculpture one of the interactive Genestreams models that I designed to assist communities to comprehend and bring natural systems back into balance, that everything fell into place. Now, when a person enters a Genestreams songline sculpture, they're entering a giant evolutionary tree where the individual represents the whole of humanity. In the foundational stages for developing the Genestreams model and potential sculpture, we research the threatened species in the region. Through community consultation, we then construct a circular phylogenetic tree that maps through deep time the shared ancestry of 16 regional species, including the humans. Each ring represents a different period of geological time, and the outer ring represents the present. This is our first step in making part of your region's unique deep time story visible. Like a thumbprint, each model is unique because the deep time journeys of the Genestreams are unique.
This new educational approach visualises and connects us to the natural world and to each other. Through public art, we offer a two-way narrative experience. Now, just as a pancake has 2 sides, so too does this sculpture. On the inside, it features field naturalist art about the region. On the outside, it features the work of Aboriginal artists of the region. The sculptures teach us about local conservation initiatives in the region, scientific knowledge of the region, and culture in the region. The Genestream sculptures are a multidisciplinary and multicultural initiative. It's not just an augmented reality or a physical sculpture that you visit. It's a learning porthole. It's a time machine. It's a means of connecting and participating in caring for country. In Western Australia in 2021, we launched our first Genestream sculpture at the Twin Creeks Nature Reserve and tested our first augmented reality Genestream sculpture at Mount Magnet in the local park. In Queensland in 2022, we launched our second Genestream songline sculpture in the Bunya Mountains as a contribution to the Bonnie Bear Bush University. We're currently developing projects at 5 other locations. I think it's clear to a growing number of us that the only viable long-term solution to save endangered species lies in saving the ecosystem that the species Genestream evolved through. Our project seeks to participate in promoting this awareness. It also recognises the old walk trails that Australia's first conservationists trod since time immemorial. The artwork you can see here were created by local contributing artists from Twin Creek, Mount Magnet and the Bunya Mountains. We pay artists to use digital images of their artwork in the sculpture, and the artists keep their original artwork. We hope that through the sculpture, people with an interest in Aboriginal art will come to understand that our culture is all about deep held values to conservation.
In the development of the artworks for the Genestream's models, I invited renowned scientific illustrator Marley Moyer to collaborate with me. I met Marley in 2010 when I was the artist for the Burke and Wills environmental expedition, which travelled in the footsteps of Burke and Wills from Melbourne to the Gulf. At this time, Marley had commenced a 10-year project with her art students at Menindee Lakes, drawing and recollecting the plants that naturalist Dr. Herman Beckler collected on that expedition 150 years earlier. In Marley's words, she has an interest in projects that encourage us to cherish the land, train ourselves to slow down, pay attention, and develop a love for country. Marley's intention is to create artworks of Australia's red list species to be exhibited in association with the Genestream sculptures to help promote, raise awareness, and raise funds for conservation organisations. Here you can see some of the field naturalist artworks of the sculptures that Marley and I have created. A strong objective of this project is community participation at all levels. This includes people who have an interest in contributing their observations of nature into a Genestream's artwork for their region. We're also passionate about school participation in this project as it teaches the values of observing nature, which in turn develops compassion for other species and the natural environment that supports us all. Our vision is that the augmented reality sculptures will become a historical museum of nature journaling created by the community, which document life within your region that can be continually added to year after year for generations to cherish. Therefore, we encourage people to grow an interest in documenting nature using the 3 key learning activities, this being pictures, words, and numbers, because it solidifies your experience into something valuable for sharing across different disciplines and communities. The art of mindful observation and citizen science should never be underestimated. Nature journaling has no restrictions in age or skill level. As a creative record of your careful observations, nature journals can become incredibly valuable to people in the future. Imagine having a 100-year-old journal in your region and across Australia. That's an objective of this project. During our project at Mount Magnet, scientific illustrator Marley Moyer held a series of 6 workshops teaching local people the foundation skills of scientific illustration and plant collecting and pressing, and I introduced the students to my way of seeing landscapes as natural systems. The outcome of this workshop resulted in the students attaining a higher skill level and being familiar with the methodology that we use to create the Genestream's artworks for the sculpture. We then offered our students the opportunity to have one of their artworks featured in the Genestream's artwork and be listed as a contributor. Reflecting on the success of the workshops and being mindful that we cannot always be there in person, we created an online resource bank for participants to guide them in the nature journaling of their region. Marley's and my vision is to extend our resource bank into areas that are of immediate social benefit. When we commence a project, we now provide the Art of Nature Resource Bank to the whole community.
Just prior to testing our first augmented reality model at Mount Magnet, we added all the artwork from the sculpture together into one digital mural, which was put on permanent display in the Mount Magnet Visitor Centre. This stimulated a high level of interest and discussion. We believe that a community artwork such as this, which displays in a public building the artwork of the sculpture, whilst informing people about local augmented reality Genestream sculpture, is a productive model that may benefit many communities. The advantage of using augmented reality is that it enables any community to commence a project with us without installing a physical sculpture. Anyone, regardless of their ethnic background, is welcome to contact us to start a project. We only ask that you're passionate about caring for country. The present ecological and cultural situation, in a word, is fragmentation, brought about through the monetisation of ecological destruction. The proven solution is ecological restoration and multicultural enrichment by growing connectivity through conservation initiatives in communities that can help to grow new industries. The sculpture increases connectivity awareness that inspires action through tools that facilitate participation. There are many worthwhile conservation initiatives that struggle through lack of access to funding, Therefore, we encourage the coupling of science with self-guided ecotourism that celebrates a multicultural approach to conservation through an experience of visual literacy tools that help us build our preferred future that we want to leave as a legacy for our children.
I, for one, hope that our initiative, which has an inclusive approach to conservation, will have a lasting impact. Once complete, the Genestream's website will share a range of tools whose goal will be to accelerate the public's comprehension of the Tree of Life and make visible, actionable step-by-step solutions into a future of ecological restoration. Across Australia, we aim to develop a combination of physical and augmented reality sculptures that will form tourism trails to increase awareness of conservation, science, and culture. By bringing the gene streams of country back into balance, we contribute to bringing the living end of the Tree of Life back into balance. When standing inside the sculpture, the inward curves of the phylogenetic tree that surrounds you reference the curves of Wave Rock, which is where I'm speaking to you from today, and which is where, 5 years ago on my first visit to Wave Rock with Auntie Carol, we encountered someone skateboarding on it. Auntie Carol walked up to him and said, "How would you like it if I skateboarded all over your church?" In a direct sense, the continual land clearing of Australia, which is happening now, is a far more grievous version of the same approach. By strengthening cultural connections to the land and community engagement with nature, our project strengthens the ability for communities to argue against invasive land clearing projects. For example, recently, the Friends of Jellorup Corridor near Bunbury in Western Australia have asked to be involved in the Genestream Sculptures initiative after their efforts failed to stop 71 hectares of forest being bulldozed, which is home to critically endangered Banksia woodlands and provides habitat for the critically endangered western ringtail possum, the endangered Carnaby's black cockatoo, and the black striped minnow. We plan to share this story through the establishment of a Genestream sculpture in the region. To learn more, visit friendsofjellorup.com. We have recently reached out to the Conflict Island Conservation Initiative with the objective of helping to promote an awareness of the crisis facing them. We invite you to initiate a Genestreams modelling project in your region, which can help to promote and therefore protect your natural environment and potentially in time lead to the development of a Genestream sculpture project.
Intelligence should not fragment natural systems. On the contrary, it should nurture them. We need to do more than observe. We need to apply tools that enhance ecological restoration and multicultural awareness. We have, in effect, ground-proofed the Genestream sculpture approach, achieved very strong community response with groups wanting to be part of a larger program, developed efficient community support system, and are now ready to take the approach much wider. This meshes with the broader ecological needs identified above and reaffirmed by every national and international environmental condition report of the past 20, 30 years. From early childhood to legacy sharing, caring for country is all about caring for the gene streams of the country. And this is how we can share the story. When we can see how we are part of nature, we are more likely to protect it. We present the gene stream of species as totems to be cared for by local people to nurture connectivity following in the wisdom of our First Nations peoples. And this is where you come in. Think about your region. What animals and plants do you want to protect? What are the important issues in your area? And what are you working to resolve and would like people to learn more about through gene streams? Imagine that by 2025, a combination of physical and augmented reality sculptures are plotting out conservation, science, culture, and natural systems trails all across Australia. Through growing a national ecotourism trail of our sculptures and potentially a global web of sculptures as a connection of knowledge shared through the Genestream's online learning and teaching tools, we are bringing people into an awareness of the threatened species of their region and helping to raise funding for local re-veg work. Now, just imagine you could be part of this emerging global movement. Wouldn't that be amazing?